drivers. Corporate slave drivers.
That sounds
I got a
Welcome to
I gotta-
capitalism.
I got a raise.
Yeah?
It went up by 2 cents.
2 cents.
Hey!
Yeah.
How much are you making now?
$13.77.
Damn!
Nice.
13.75 before. That's how math works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Minimum wage in Florida just went up to $13 an hour today.
Mm.
Yeah.
Florida
None of
dock
my
workers.
kids. None of my kids can get jobs though.
Yeah.
they're all like, I can't get a job, and I'm like, right, that's because Target pays $23 an hour, and they'd be like grown ass people working at Target now.
They do? There's a fucking Target behind me. I need to, like, behind the Chipotle I work at. Maybe I need to apply to a Target.
I mean, the Targets here do. Yeah.
There's a point in my notes that I wrote down. Cain and ableist.
Yeah.
I got an inspiration off that one.
Yes.
Damn,
I
we
don't
didn't do-
have anything exciting to share. I'm sorry.
I made
Crap.
an impulsive decision and bought
Oh!
concert tickets to go see Elenium.
Oh,
I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
thank you. I was thinking the same thing.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
I mean, I know what concert tickets are, but I don't know what the band is.
They're a hot EDM artist.
Ah, okay.
hot,
Okay, I feel better about not knowing this information now.
a hot EDM artist that looks like they're 50 years old. Why is this 50-year-old wearing eyeliner?
Watch what you're saying, Zach.
But also, if they're 50, they were born in 1974, which means that they were in their 20s in the 90s. So really, people who are young now are just appropriating 50-year-olds' culture. They're
Alright.
wearing.
Okay, the question of the day is,
Yes.
hypothetically,
Ooh.
if you are complicit in someone cheating on their boyfriend
Uh-huh.
with you, and then they dump said boyfriend to
Mhm.
date you,
Mhm.
what are the odds that they also cheat on you eventually?
75%.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think-
all right.
I think more than that.
Idiot.
Well,
Discuss.
Discuss.
Mm,
Do you want
okay.
to discuss the odds of you getting cheated on?
how
This
old
is
this person?
hypothetical. 30.
How old? 80%.
80%.
Yeah,
30.
They're 30.
80%. Yeah. Because there's a chance you're just like a quarter life crisis.
Mhm.
But wait, is that chance like 20% or
What?
that?
No, it's an 80%. There's a 20% chance he doesn't get cheated on.
Okay.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Well, was the relationship in the shits before that cheating happened, though?
Yes.
So, like, oh, okay. I put
But
it
it
back at
doesn't-
70.
Two years. 2 years of shit's relationship.
How long were they together before this?
It's like 5 years total. 2 years no sex.
Okay.
2 years no sex.
I will
Mm.
tell you, I went 2 years with no
They
sex
tried
in
everything.
my relationship, and I didn't fuck somebody else. And I'm a horny bitch. So I'm just saying, I used my words to break up my relationship.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Brad said 70%.
I would say 70, in my opinion.
I will say
Okay.
70% for cheating, but with the caveat
Asterisk.
that if it's 70% for cheating, 100% that there are terrible communication issues in this relationship.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's
That's ship has sailed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. 70% cheating, 100% does not know how to solve conflict.
Yeah.
I'm throwing out 85%.
85.
Yeah. I'll give them a 15% chance that they'll get their act together in their next whatever relationships going forward.
Alright. Okay.
I don't think they're gonna cheat. I think your relationship's gonna burn long before that.
Honestly, that was gonna be my second
Ah.
option. That it's just gonna fall apart for other reasons way before it gets to that point.
Yep.
Wait, so let me hypothetically clarify this situation.
Yeah, hypothetically, yeah.
Hypothetically clarifying this
Yes.
situation.
Correct.
This hypothetical friend of mine is dating this person whom they were complicit in infidelity, right? But is there an expectation of fidelity in this relationship?
Define fidelity.
Can you fuck other people,
Eventually.
but not right now?
There's a sort of onboarding process, hypothetically.
Onboard.
This sex must be really good because this sounds way more.
How long
complicated
is
than
your
I'd be willing to
onboarding?
put
No,
up with.
Yeah, now that I know
you imagine that a circumstance might start monogamous for like this sort of transitionary phase, and then you sort of negotiate other circumstances.
Sir.
Check it. 95.
Yeah.
95 is going up.
When you throw that in, it's like,
Yeah. I'm a firm believer you should treat relationships like New Year's. Start the way you intend to continue.
God, maybe I've been treating relationships wrong.
I mean, what the fuck do I know? I'm single. But I was in a monogamous 12-year relationship, so
These are all hypothetical circumstances. I'm just filling the space that is the tea time while I wait for my noodles to boil.
spaghettis.
I'm supposed to live without that.
Ooh,
Okay.
I do have a tea.
Ooh.
It's not satisfactory because I apparently only I don't know, whatever. Okay. So, I think that I have talked about this musician who I have the musician that you said I trapped. I presented a
Banjo.
trap to.
Banjo guy?
No. Banjo guy lives in New York now.
Okay.
Banjo guy is not in the picture. And this is the guy that I texted, and I was like, listen, if you're not attracted to me and you don't want to fuck, you can just tell me. I'm not going to be offended. And everyone on this call said that sounded like a trap because straight women don't say stuff like that. And I'm like, well, I'm not straight, but I am a woman, and so I can see the confusion. Right, so this is this guy. Right. So the last Wednesday of the month, the fourth Wednesday of the month, I go with my friend to this wine bar and pay way too much for beer and appetizers. But he also plays on this Wednesday. It's a ladies' night, the fourth Wednesday of the month. And so we were chatting, and at one point I came around the corner.
Oh.
He was on break. He was on break from his set, and I came around the corner from the bathroom, and he was like, "Oh, I know that girl," and I was like, "You do? What? Me? Did you forget what I look like? It's not like I'm common looking." And he's like, "Well, you know, like forest for the trees kind of thing. Like I'm sure that there are other people out there that look like you." And I'm like, "Oh, so you think I'm ugly?" Because that's my favorite thing to say to men because it makes them very uncomfortable. There might be more than one reason I'm single. So, and he was like, no. And then later he qualified that he thought if I were a tree, I would be a birch. And I'm like, why? Because I'm smooth and white? And he was like, yeah, exactly. And then he said something like, I don't even remember what he said to me. And I made an offended noise, like, and he was like, oh yeah, no, that's like a G. You said like a G note right there. And then every time because he has a guitar. And then every time he made eye contact with me, he mocked the noise I made and played it on the guitar for the rest of the night. And then he Then he modified it and say, I actually think you're in F sharp. And I'm like, is that better or worse? And he's like, I don't know. I don't think it's as cool. It is deeper though. And I was like, oh, all right. Well, that makes sense. You know, I've got really good lung capacity, so it could also go for a while. And he's like, I guess we'll see. And I was like,
So you slept with him?
You are- no, no, oh my god. So here's where this gets super frustrating, right? Because I was like, motherfucker, do not write. Your mouth is writing checks right now that your dick cannot cash. Like, this is what's happening right now. And I was like, oh, okay. So later in the night, as he's packing up his stuff, my friend, who's an excellent wing woman, was like, I'm gonna go play on my phone outside while you do whatever this is. And so I was like, you know the best part about dating somebody who plays a stringed instrument? And he's like, what? And I'm like, it's the fingering. And he was like, well, yeah. And he's like, oh, well, if you really want to see good fingering, you should see the guitarist in our band. And I'm like, oh, do you think I should have sex with him instead? And
Oh my god!
and he was like, I mean, I would if I was into it. And I was like, okay. So like, we're still chatting. And then I was like, I have the day off. This was the Wednesday night before the hurricane came through. So I had a hurricane day on last Thursday. And I was like, I have the day off tomorrow. And he was like, yeah, I'm not sure if I have the day off tomorrow. And he says, are you having a hurricane party? And I was like, no, are you? And he's like, no, I'm gonna make
a hurricane party?
Oh yeah, those are things. Those are things. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna make like a nice dinner and like this fancy espresso or whatever. And he's like, I'll let you know if I don't have to work. And I'm like, okay.
Is he just being dumb?
Yes, pretty sure, yeah.
Yep. I mean, he's a man.
And I was like,
we're pretty stupid.
yeah. He's like, yeah, I'll let you know if I don't have to work. And I was like, okay, yeah, you got my number. And he's like, yeah, that's how I would have let you know. And I was like, oh yeah, are you sure? Because you're not very good at returning my text messages.
Ooh.
And he was like, did you text me? And I didn't message you back. And I was like, yeah, I did. Because the last text message I sent him was, if you don't want to fuck me, just let me know and I'll stop bothering you. And he's like, well, you know, I sometimes don't get my messages on my phone, and then people get mad at me. And I'm like, I'm not mad at you. And he's like, I don't know, it seems like you're mad at me. And I'm like, no, you'd know. You'd know. Right? So he's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'll text you. And I'm like, all right, bitch, bet. Right? So, because I'm me, I leave, and I text him while I'm walking back to my car, and it's just the finger pointing up emoji. It says unanswered text message, pointing directly up at the last text message I sent this man.
Mm-hmm.
Never texted me, didn't tell me if he had to work or didn't work or whatever. Did, however, look at every single one of my Instagram stories, and I don't know if he knows that I can see that. Yeah, I don't know if he knows I can see that or not. But then didn't hear from him all the next day, and I'm over at my friend's house, and I'm relaying this story, and she's like, this guy's dumb. This guy's just stupid. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm like, I'm gonna message him on Instagram, because then he can't claim he didn't see it on his phone. I'm gonna do it. And so what I said was, guess I'm glad I didn't send you that picture I took last night. Because I'm in the market for friends with benefits, but it doesn't seem like you're buying.
Oh.
He saw it, did not reply.
Ah.
And I'm like, okay. Yeah. Talk a big game here, bud. Talk a big game.
What is this?
I don't know.
It's almost like he just kind of gets off to this. Like,
yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, listen, we could do this in a more structured environment if you just want me to give you a hard time for like
I don't want to have sex. I just want to have a hard time.
Yeah, that's what it feels like at this point. It doesn't feel like it's a sex thing. I just want a hard time, yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to get.
Oh. Okay.
But
You give a hard time so you can get a hard time.
Yeah, generally speaking. Mixed results.
Well, I have a... Just because it... So, I went to a bar, and I got ghosted, okay?
Oh, no.
So, I was supposed to meet up with this guy there. And he didn't show up. He didn't respond to my messages.
Asshole.
So, I'm just at the gay bar walking around, and I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to meet some people and say hi. And so, I wandered around, and I met 3 groups of dudes. And...
Okay.
3 adventuring parties of dudes.
Yeah, so I went up to one group, and it was like a trio of guys, and one of them was really cute. So I went up and said hi, and we were talking, like, introductory conversation, like, hi, what are you doing? Are you all here for, like, a birthday or something? Like, what's going on? And then he asked me, he was like, are you straight? And I was like...
Worst gaydar ever.
And I said, and I was like, I'm here alone, chatting up guys. No, I'm not straight. And he was like, can I give you head? And I was like, oh, okay.
Things escalated.
And then
Wow.
his friend swooped in, and his friend was not very pretty, and he staked his claim. So then the hot guy backed off, and then I was very not happy, so I left. Also, it turns out that a hot guy went to the bathroom to go do coke, so not interested in that either. So then I went up to another group of guys, and this was like 6 dudes. 3 of them were really hot, and they're like wife beaters.
Like 50%, that's not bad.
And I was talking.
You have a type. You have a type.
I do have a type. So I started talking to them, and the one in the white t-shirt goes, are you gay? And I'm like, yes, I'm gay.
do you just have like gaydar stealth capabilities?
Yeah.
What were you wearing?
Unfortunately, though, so I'm hanging out with these guys, and we chat for a little bit, but like, they start like ignoring me in a weird way. Like, I'm just there, and they're not talking to me. They're all too busy talking to each other, and every time I try to get into a conversation, they kind of just like subtly nudge me out, and I was like, okay, that's fine. So I left, and I meet another group of guys, and one of them is really, really, really attractive. He's tall, he's handsome, and we go to...
Did he also ask if you were gay?
Well, we went to this bar called The Weekend down the street, and he asked me, he was like, are you straight? I'm like, everyone here thinks I'm straight.
What are you doing, man?
And then I'm trying to hit on him, and the conversation comes up of like what we're looking for, what we're into. And his friend was like, who here, pick someone out for us to look at. Like, who here are you into? And he points that guy. And I look behind me, and it's like this 40-year-old, like, not so good looking dude. And I look at him, and I was like, oh. And I'm polite, so I was like, okay. And his friend was like, bro, he's ugly. Bro, you're fucked up. I was like, oh, I see him wasting my time here. But, yeah, it was a funny little story. And then I bumped into my friend who was there he was on a first date with somebody. I bumped into him. And he was like, yeah, this guy drove down from Austin for a first date with me. But it wasn't going so well, and the guy ditched him for another guy, so... Wow. So I was like, I got ghosted. Your man left you. Let's just hang out. So I hung out with my friend.
Yeah. Sometimes it'd be like that.
I don't have a picture of what I was wearing, but
Did you wear different cologne? Did you just wear straight smelling cologne?
I wore like an oversized. It's probably better if I can't describe it to you. Hold on.
Okay. Fashion show. Fashion show me. Did I ever tell you the time I was out on a date with somebody and ran into the person I had a date with the next day?
I don't think so.
I think that's all.
Yeah, I was at the Renaissance Fair with a person I'd been on a couple of, like, this was our third date. And I ran into the person I had a date with the next day. And I told them that I was going to be at the Ren Fair with a date. And they're like, okay, cool. Like, if I see you, can I say hi? And I'm like, okay. And so they came up and, like, gave me a hug and said hi. And they were there with their partner. And then Grant was like, oh, hey, do you want to go hang out? Like, I said hi, met them. And then I was like, do you want to go hang out with them? And I was like, nope. Mm-mm.
It's this, but with like
do
a
not.
pair of jeans. It's just like, it's like a really long black shirt. It comes down to my butt.
Yeah, I think that's what was throwing him
It
off.
has a hoodie.
I agree. Yeah, with just
Yeah.
the jeans, you do look more like a straight person. Who
Yeah,
like,
that is
rap.
straight outfit.
Yeah, it's the length of the shirt. If it was a shorter shirt,
Mhm.
Probably
If it
better.
was a shorter shirt.
Yeah.
yes. Why
You're
would you?
covering the
Why would you
goods.
work? Yeah, why would you work on your ass so hard and then cover it up?
Exactly.
Maybe that's what I need to do.
Squats,
What?
probably.
That too, but like
Literally, everyone should squat always.
everyone should
Squats are
squat
good.
always.
Ooh! I did a really good workout the other day, and I was very happy about it because when I log my workouts, it tells me the total volume of weight I lifted and like counts all my reps and stuff. I did 297 reps, and my total volume of weight was 5,716 pounds, and I was like,
We're good. We're
Damn.
good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I thought that was a funny story.
That is really funny, Boo.
Mhm.
Also, I didn't know you could just walk up to strangers and ask if you could give them head.
I mean, in a gay bar, you sure can.
I was almost-
I've literally
much-
never had that happen to me.
So much fucking better. Being hetero sucks.
Listen,
Yeah,
it doesn't work. People don't think I'm serious.
I've had guys just like try to take me into a stall. Like, I mean, they'll just.
Yeah, no, that's assault if they do that to me.
Yeah.
So I've only been to like one gay bar, and Quentin was there. He already get hit by.
Oh my God! Ethan got attacked.
I mean, you
that
get
was
big twink energy though.
that was I fucking. Oh my God! I had to.
You have to save him or something?
Yeah, there was,
So I was.
following Quentin to somewhere.
I told him. So we were at this place called the Pegasus. Super packed. It's really narrow. There's pathways you have to take, and like, it's like high school where there's people standing on both sides of the hallway, and so you have to like squeeze down the middle, like in a 2-lane traffic in 1 lane, basically. So,
Okay.
so I was like, all right, Ethan, stay close behind me. Do not get separated, because I know what's gonna happen if he does. So
It's gonna get yoinked.
I'm walking.
Right?
We get to the back, and I'm walking toward the bar to get us drinks, and I look behind me, and he's gone. And I was like, "Oh shit, where'd he go?" And I look through the crowd, and this man has him pinned up against a pillar.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
GG.
So
GG, no read.
from my point of view, I was like, all right, Ethan, don't lose time. I was like, all right, I got you right behind you. As we like cut through this past corridor, this other couple of guys stopped and looked at me and said, "Hey!" And put like his hand on my shoulder, like kind of hugged me, but I could tell he moved me a little bit towards the pillar, and started talking to me. And I was starting to go with the flow. We hugged me like 3 times. So it was obvious that he wants something, and I had to pretend when Q came by that I was with him.
You know, going with the flow is how you end up sucking dick, right? Like, that's how that works.
I had to like grab the guy by the shoulder and go like, "Hey, what's your name?" I shook his hand and like I had to like interpose.
You had to like
Well, he had his arms around Ethan and the pole, so I had to take his arm and peel it off and like and I had to take him by the shoulder and push him
Get away.
off of
Damn.
him.
Damn.
Dang,
Fuck.
uh,
That's rough.
that's
In the
Uh,
pretty
end,
bold.
I looked past it, but I was cool with it because I actually meant to make out with a pretty cute chick at the end. So
He did make out with Celeste.
That was your warm up.
Hey,
That
there
was
you
your
go.
warm-up.
But also, gay bars kind of sound like nom. Like,
if you're
I mean,
with me, it's nowhere,
it's-
nothing is safe.
Yeah, that'd be very.
It's all about like confidence. Like if you walk around there looking self-confident and that you can handle yourself, nobody's gonna fuck with you. But if you show weakness,
or approach.
You show weakness.
if you show weakness, they will swoop in.
Don't show weakness.
Arms
Okay.
wrapped around the pillar. Just that's how.
Gosh,
That's a. What you should have juked him. You should have just dropped and juked him.
you just can't give off bottom energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
When I dress more feminine, people put their hands on me. They will be not afraid to touch me. But if I dress masculine, nobody fucks with me.
Well, that's what you got to do is learn the nut tap.
And that
It's just you backhand them in the dick and then run away.
the NT.
I don't think not a single stranger has touched me in public since I cut my hair. It's great.
It's great.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Nice.
So the moral of the story is the more masculine you look, the fewer people are interested.
Don't
in
give
fucking you.
off bottom energy.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Top five.
Yeah.
He did dress me up that night too.
I didn't even give Ethan a feminine outfit. He.
He's just small.
I am small.
Indeed.
He's just smaller.
It's just small. Just small. Also, this musician guy, he's like, I don't know, like 6'2" or 6'3" or something like that. And he was like,
Oh.
he told me that I was tall, and I was like, you are the only tall person who has ever said that I was tall ever. And he was like, well, yeah, but you are.
Huh?
I'm
You
like,
give off tall vibes.
You do got tall vibes.
Interesting.
okay, you, show me 6 inches. just curious.
Just unzips pants. Listen, if he's 6'3", he's packing.
That's not always true, man.
Mm-hmm.
That is unfortunately not always true.
Brad, I know you're like 6'3". Don't shake your head like that.
I'm only 6 foot. So, you know.
Oh, you're 6 foot. I thought you were taller than me for some reason. We're the same height. Okay.
You can't tell. There is, in my experience, there is zero correlation between height and heat.
Height and heat.
None.
That's helpful enough.
Yeah. The only correlation I can see is that if you are acoustic or neurodivergent in some way, you are more likely to have a giggle hog. That's the only correlation I've come across.
Less brains, more cock.
Yeah. Yeah, they're making up for it.
God damn it. Oh.
Well, I've almost finished this beer.
We haven't even started.
We haven't started. Honestly, it's great. It's fantastic. Because the only, like, dude I have to tell these stories, like, my best friend's a guy, but he's, like, super cishet and monogamous and been married for 10 years.
Lame.
Super
Really
lame. I love him
awful.
to death. Super lame. Super lame.
Yeah, it's super lame to be married for 10 years.
Well, it's not
Dumb.
very fun to tell him my... I mean, it is fun to tell him my dating stories, but he doesn't have any useful advice.
Oh.
And then he's just like, I've been fucking the same woman for a decade. And I'm like, I'm proud of you. But also, like, there's not a lot of reciprocal storytelling happening here.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I'm gonna go get another beer. Oh, Do you guys want to meet Greg?
Who, Greg?
Yes.
Oh, yes,
Greg.
I remember Greg.
Greg?
What did Greg? How's Greg doing?
This is Greg.
Oh my god, he's small.
Oh,
He's very small. This is Greg.
Oh, look at that little
no.
thing.
Aw.
Yeah.
I think he's like, mother, let me go.
Fucking adorbs.
Aw.
Release me. I crave violence.
I must gremlin. Yeah, he's been terrorizing the big cats.
It was all small cats, dude.
Yeah. Buffy just hisses at him and smacks him. And Malcolm has now adopted him. I caught him licking the top of his head, grooming the top of Greg's head today.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
This is some of my favorite TikToks before.
I think my job's trying to, like... I actually do think it's trying to slowly kill me.
Again, welcome to capitalism, darling.
Yeah. But I can no longer... This hand can no longer make a fist.
What?
Yeah, my hand can't make a fist. Like... Like, that's about as far as I can go before I feel pain. And then...
That's what she said.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yes, laugh at my pain.
I was laughing at my really clever dick joke, but okay.
Oh, that too.
I'm not laughing at your pain.
But,
I'm gonna offer you a piece of useless advice. Get a different job.
I should quit.
That's not what I said. What I said was get a different job.
Okay, so hypothetically, if this girl's like a 9 out of 10,
We're back on her.
Okay, 9 out of 10.
is it worth rolling the dice on
Okay.
like 15%?
No,
Okay.
it dropped down to
So-
5. So
Yeah.
We're talking about a 5?
yeah, remember 95%. It was
I said 85%.
I said 70, then I dropped down to 95.
So what you're saying is it's a natural 20.
Yeah, if you roll a natural 20, you'll have like. So. Okay, so she's a fucking smoke show, right? Presumably the sex is really good, right? Fantastic
I rolled an
sex.
11.
She's a smoke show. Yeah, you're gonna get dicked over, and not in the fun way. She's a smoke show. Sex is real good. Do you like her as a person?
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, mostly.
Okay.
It was very convincing.
Okay. Does she have a comparable lifestyle and interests to you?
I'd say those are compatible, largely.
All right, dude. If you just want to have really good sex with somebody that's really hot for like 6 months and get your heart broken afterwards, maybe go for it. I'm not going to tell you not to do it. Hypothetically, I'm not going to tell you not to do it because I have legitimately dated for many months somebody who said, I don't want a traditional relationship because I'm leaving the country and I don't want to be entangled. And I was like, well, I really like you and the sex is really fucking good. So, all right.
I was gonna say, I was
But
like,
I went,
even if this relationship doesn't work out, a win is a win.
and you hold a goal? Is that what you're doing?
Oh.
And you hold a goal? Is that what you just did?
I would just say if you're not looking for a full-on relationship, then go. Is what I would say.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get married.
Yeah, have
then-
fun.
Then yeah, just
Then why are you worried about this being like dating and like a monogamous onboarding thing?
I'm providing
Hypothetically.
hypothetical entertainment-based questions for the sake of pre-D&D tea time.
Yeah, it's a contribution.
Yeah,
I'm
okay. I
participating.
appreciate that. That. I say if you just want to have like athletic sex with somebody really super hot, do it.
Sounds awesome.
But keep in mind, when I asked, do you like her as a person, your answer was mostly. This is a person you are not actually dating yet, and your answer was, I mostly like her as a person.
Well, how long have you known her for?
He's already fucked her. And he doesn't know if he likes her as a person. This is not a good basis for a relationship.
Well, people have their pros and cons.
Speak for yourself.
With the exception of Q.
Yes.
I'm awesome, and there's no
All right.
bad things about me.
Nice. Well, more hypothetical questions next week.
Next week.
On the next episode.
Yes. I have intended to continue harassing this musician because now it's like big game hunting.
That's funny.
It's just like big game hunting. At this point, I don't even know if this X is going to be worth it. But like,
It's the process.
yeah.
The sport.
Break it. You gotta break
Yeah,
it.
it's the sport of it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's sport.
Exactly. Yeah, I like to think that his weirdness and reticence is because he's pretty sure he would embarrass himself if he had sex with me.
Mm.
That's what I'm thinking. But, sex is like pizza. Even if it's bad, it's still pizza.
A win is a win.
And he holds a goal. Oh, okay. So, on
Yeah.
that inspiring note,
Enough horniness.
Never. There's never enough horniness.
No, we're always horny on Maine.
I'm horny on Maine and,
On the alt
I'm
count.
yeah, Maine, alt account, in the DMs.
I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
a bad thing. I'm just saying.
Oh no, I'm just joking. What I want to I want insight into Brad's dating
I
life.
just want to know what
Yes,
Brad's
word.
life is like.
Hmm?
Tell us.
Well, you
Sorry.
don't ask. I don't. No, I mean,
Tell us
I'm,
about your life, Brad.
I will proceed to pry into romantic.
oh, sure. I mean, I am in a relationship. It's been going well for a year, so.
A year?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
We missed that newspaper headline.
Yo, we have literally known Brad longer than his relationship.
That's true.
That is true. That is. Damn. How long has it been?
It'll be 3 years in December.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm plus.
Damn.
Yeah, this is the most stable relationship in my life.
I'm honored.
Thank you.
That's not strictly true. I have
Yeah,
friends.
it's a good joke though.
It's a very
The
nice joke.
sentiment is.
Yeah,
good.
thanks.
Yeah, no, same.
Here, butthead. Okay. So on that, mostly joke, kind of not. I'm glad that you're having a happy relationship, Brad.
Thank you.
Even if it does mean that we don't get funny tea from you. But your happiness is more important than tea.
I'll let you know if it ends, and then we.
Or you could tell us about good things that happen. Maybe you go and do something really fun.
Tell us if you go pumpkin patch shopping.
Yeah, if you do something adorable. Like
Okay.
Like-
No, I mean we do. I mean we
Match
did.
your
You know,
Halloween
ice skating?
costumes.
We did do that last year. We did do maze. We did do pumpkin. patch.
Aww.
Let's see what else. We've done a bunch of escape rooms. She's like really into it.
Oh,
That's so cute.
that makes me so happy. I just want my friends to be happy, Brad. So
Okay.
it makes me happy that you have somebody in your life that you enjoy.
Thank you.
Wow.
No, I just yeah.
So stable and well adjusted, Brad.
Like, I feel like I don't know. Should I be?
No, I think it's good. That makes me happy.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I expect a Christmas card in the mail.
I just want to see Halloween costumes. Honestly, I've peeped your Ren Fair outfit.
Well, yeah.
I just have to admit, I just have to imagine that your Halloween costume is pretty dope.
Ooh. Speaking of which, I gotta think of what I'm doing for Halloween. Let's
You
see.
gave me my Halloween costume idea.
Did I?
Yeah, I made the cloak.
Oh. I made the cloak.
Yeah.
Cloak.
Oh, it's not complete yet. It's not complete yet, but I have to sew the hood on completely. But
Yes.
Ooh.
it's ghosts on the inside.
Ooh.
But it's like a little capelet, like a big hood. I can't put it on. Oh, big hood.
Nice. That should be ready by Halloween.
Oh yeah, I just have to finish sewing on the hood.
Nice.
Nice.
It looks
Nice.
cozy.
Yeah. I was like, cute. I thrifted a leather skirt. How can I incorporate that into my Halloween costume? And he's like, hear me out. A DM, but like a DM. He was like, I have a garter belt. I have stockings with the line up the back, high heels, bustier, leather skirt, cloak. I'm gonna make a spell book,
Yeah.
potion bottle.
For
I
you,
thought about making a cat of nine tails with D4s glued to the ends.
Oh God!
Make it
Yes.
I
Yes.
haven't committed to that, but
Yeah, for those who didn't get it, I was like, you should be like a dungeon dominatrix, but like a DM themed dungeon dominatrix.
yeah,
So you're like DM
I was like-
squared.
yeah. Like I'm a dungeon mistress.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or just get a crop with one of the hexagons like a dice.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
One side says 20. One side says 20. The other side says 1.
Yes. I think it's
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
so creative.
Everyone reported on your Halloween costumes because we always go to D&D. We always have D&D night with costumes.
Oh yeah, who's gonna do our Halloween one shot this year? It's not me.
It could be me. Depending.
Okay, so Zach, you can't be a Jedi again.
All right, fine.
I'll be a Sith then.
Can you do like a Mormon themed Halloween costume? Just asking for a friend.
Absolutely not.
But what if it's like a slutty Mormon, like a
I-
striptogram Mormon?
Just be Utah Jazz.
What is that? Just be Utah Jazz. I am never putting on that suit again. You can't pay me to. In
But
fact, they didn't.
yeah, there's a lot I'd do for money though.
I was gonna say no amount of money.
Everyone has a price.
Ethan,
Uh,
what is that?
Well,
I'll put on the slutty Mormon outfit for like $20.
the other thing is like I burned all of my old Mormon shit, like all the magic underwear and
Gosh.
and all the fucking suits that I had to wear.
Zach, will you tell me what the magic underwear was? Is it just like boring linen underwear?
Yes.
Okay, it's just like a rectangle.
Literally, it is a full-on shirt with like things down to the knee, so you can't wear short shorts. And then they got
understood.
yeah, and then they got symbols on the knee and the nipples, and I think symbols on the arms.
There's symbols on the nipples.
With nipple symbols.
There's nipple symbols. There's a belly button symbol,
What?
and
Oh man.
yeah, it's a whole thing. It's magic underwear.
Oh my
Thank you so
god!
much. I'm so glad I asked this question. I have wanted to know. I didn't. I was like, it's just like boring pilgrim underwear, and you're like, nah, there's symbols on the nipples, bitch. And I'm like,
Nipple nipple symbols.
That's
I'm
amazing.
here for nipple symbols. I'm here for
Oh
it.
wow.
Do I don't think I have them. Like I was very angry that day and drunk.
I think that's fair. That's fair. Okay. On that bombshell, Okay, what happened last time? I mean, I assume we want to play D&D and not just talk with each other.
Yeah, eventually.
I mean, I
Yeah,
enjoy your company. This is the highlight of my day, honestly.
I I should get you all to like hang out in the other chat I have. That one we just
I
played.
thought you were gonna say like in real life.
That too,
Ew.
but like I don't have
Gross.
an interdimensional portal that leads to Florida or Colorado or Chicago, Illinois.
You fly that, so.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
can you
means,
pick
like,
us up on just do a round trip?
Yeah,
pick
you're a
us all up.
pilot.
do you guys got a plane?
I'm sure we can
no,
rent
but
one.
I have like the $100 it would take me to get a Frontier ticket to any of your cities.
That's a good point.
Yeah, fair.
Like, I live next to a very big airport. I could probably go to Julian's right now for like $69.
Eh. But what happened last time is we decided to go to the Greek and I.
Yeah. Drinking.
Greek and I. Sharp Eye and I don't want to say the ableist, but I wrote down Cain and ableist. But I wrote down Cain and ableist can't read a map. Might go after the dragons later. Who knows? Yada yada. We got a bunch of
Please.
shit.
Yes, you did. Because I love you, and I want you to be happy and also curse.
And cursed. Yada 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 yada.
Only in game. I just want you to be happy in real life.
Oh, Sharp Eye is gonna hand the wand to Schlepp because I'm pretty sure Schlepp can duplicate it.
Can you
Yeah,
do?
you're-
It's a wand of magic missile.
Yeah, that's definitely one because my artificer was able to duplicate that in my brother's campaign.
He's an alchemist artificer, though. I don't know if if it works the same.
I don't have any
No.
ability to duplicate magic items.
We head towards the Grink and I. We need a boat. Schlepp makes a fucking boat.
Yes. Named the Ugly Guppy, by the way, which I wrote
Named-
down.
The Ugly Guppy. Also, we had a wonderful night in Quinsu's magnificent mansion, where we just had trauma. Just
Yeah,
trauma
which is
for
also
everybody.
just a portal to Leoric's dancing dragon.
Yeah,
Um,
portal
the,
to Leo.
the flagship location. I love that so much about our campaigns.
The flagship.
There's a multiverse.
Yeah, the multiverse.
We all get our own trauma.
Uh-huh.
And then Sharp Eye saw that Quinsu didn't get any trauma, so he decided to give him trauma.
Oh, so that's what that
A
was about.
small amount of trauma.
Who's Dr. Mills?
Small amount of trauma, and then that turned Sharp Eye to chaotic evil.
Yep.
And then I wrote down, if you give a robot a humanity,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Previous.
Yes.
Being
'Cause-
sassy.
yeah, and chaotic,
Mhm.
and asking real rough questions.
and,
Yeah.
and then Schlepp fabricates a boat.
Yes.
And that's all my notes.
Oh, you didn't write down anything about the trauma was before we left the mansion?
No, I just wrote down, everyone's got a whole lot of trauma. Rose, question mark. More trauma. Quincy didn't get enough trauma.
Yeah,
So, like-
Quincy just got disapproving father,
Yeah.
No.
which does seem like a thing that might be traumatic for Quincy, a little bit. Raheem found a doll that looked very familiar to him, that he took with him. Clyde had completely destroyed bed linens, destroyed by claws.
Mm-hmm.
Zach provided Sharp Eye's trauma all on his own. There was a desiccated rose on his on his bedroll. I don't even have to do that one. Schlepp didn't get trauma.
That's true.
The Schlepp just had the reminder that there are ways for him to find more and more about the human condition.
So, does Schlepp become human when we figure out how to traumatize him?
Yeah. Absolutely, we're doing a full Pinocchio sort of thing here, where he gets to become a real boy at the end.
Sounds like we gotta put him in a whale.
In a whale.
You are in the swamp. There are sea monsters.
Oh God.
I'm so excited for some of this. I'm so glad y'all got off in the swamp. There are such cool things in here. Okay.
Did anybody else? Okay.
Did anybody else what?
Nothing. No,
What?
we're good.
No.
No, tell us.
Fair, it's just fair.
Yeah, share.
God, I hope that's...
I don't think it is what you think it is.
We're listening.
All right, you asked for it. Yeah, we all got off in the swamp.
Scandalous.
Really?
You guys wanted me to say it.
Listen, I live in
That's
Florida.
scandalous.
I live in Florida. I always get off in a swamp.
Mm. The scandal.
All I'm hearing is
Yeah.
banter. Oh, Sharp Eye gave Slep his shotgun.
Oh yeah.
Because you're proficient with firearms.
Because you're proficient with firearms. You don't have a firearm. for
Is
some
it
goddamn
just a
reason.
shotgun?
It's a shotgun +1.
He's got a gun.
Oh no,
Evil
he's got a
robotic gun.
gun.
Schlepp is got a... It is two-handed, though. Because Jen won't let me saw off the
Oh.
stock and make it a pistol grip.
If you
Correct.
give a robot a shotgun. Unfortunately, my
Honestly-
roll to hit on weapons is just not very good.
I like to imagine the reason I don't jive with the you have to use stowing and pulling out weapons. I just like to imagine that all of your adventuring gear has Velcro on it and all of the shit you want to use is Velcroed to you. Or magnets if you're a robot. That's just what I imagine.
Or it could be like whatever the hell Borderlands does, where it's like that
You
weird
just pull it out of your prison pocket?
just magic. It's just like a magic amulet that sits on your hip or your chest, and you just put your hand over it and the weapon appears.
Bag of holding.
Yeah. Yeah, but in this case the magic is Velcro.
Velcro.
Yeah, because I think that's funny. And so you are all aboard the Ugly Guppy. Because you rolled very poorly on your survival checks and did not get very far in a full day of travel after killing Telecarna. You didn't get very far because you were on, you were on this side of the 13
Never run
when you
this side.
started, and now you're on that side of the 13, and you are trying to go down to the creepy eyeball.
Yep.
Them.
I prefer
I
to
both-
refer to it as the Empyrean.
Yes, the Empyrean.
The angel.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not at all like I have any payback to give Q with angels or anything.
Oh.
That's shady.
You're welcome. So it is the inky and wet dawn as you all are boarding. I guess it's probably just post dawn. And if you've ever seen dawn in a swamp, it's initially you think it's going to be really beautiful. It blooms sort of orange on the horizon, and you think, well, maybe if the sun comes all the way up, or whatever passes for sun comes all the way up in this realm, some of the heat and humidity will dissipate. Something like actual environment will happen. But it doesn't. The sun never really actually comes up. It stays this orange glow on the horizon that then just sort of spreads through the low gray cloud cover. And as this orange spreads through the sky, the heat and the swamp and the humidity just gets more and more oppressive until it feels like you are breathing through a wet pair of sweatpants.
Alright.
That have a wet pair of dirty sweatpants,
Oh.
just to be clear. It is rank. It's not just the smell of a natural swamp, which you would have expected, the smell of a natural swamp, you know, decaying vegetation and stagnant water. But there's also this deep burning, lingering sulfur. It's just, it smells like swamp and fart and evil. And you're breathing it in, and it's on your skin, and it's all of you except for anyone who is immune to the poison condition feel coated with slime, basically. And we established last time that with the level up, Schlepp has just coated himself with Rain-X so that the moisture wicks off of him. And as you get on the Ugly Guppy, so you fabricated this. Let's fabricate. Is anyone proficient with boats? Sea vehicles? Nobody is proficient with boats.
I'm proficient with vehicles land, but that's about it.
Okay, so you have land. Okay. Besides shark bite, does anybody have any vehicle proficiency?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So you can decide amongst yourself who is going to pilot this raft. Schlepp, did you fabricate in the midst of doing this also like poles and paddles?
You, when I casted the spell, you stated that oars were included.
Okay. Also, I wasn't sure if you were just envisioning like oars or if you were also envisioning like a long pole for guiding.
Oh, probably just oars.
Okay. The only person who lives in a swamp asking these questions. Okay. Yeah, so decide who is going to be in charge of guiding the raft. And then for a raft this size, and especially considering that there is also a giant hellcat on this raft, everyone's going to have to paddle. But pick one person to steer.
I think perhaps Clyde should guide the boat.
Very well, I'll guide the boat.
Wait,
That's
what?
what everyone wishes me to do.
No, I think that is a great idea.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Alright. It's unanimous. Clyde, get to the helm. Stick.
It's like a
Whatever the fuck
canoe.
we have. Rudder.
Get to the helm.
If it is a raft, like a Huckleberry Finn raft kind of thing,
Oh no.
you would need to have a pole to steer it. If you fabricated it with a rudder, right? So Clyde would need to stand at the back at the rudder, which would have just like a simple stick handle on it, and the rest of you would have to row.
Sure, why not?
Okay. So Clyde, you are at the back of the raft, and you have hold of a very rudimentary rudder, which is essentially a piece of root that is bent 90 degrees and then Schlepp flattened it out so that it acts as a rudder at the end. So you have the rough sort of natural bumps of natural wood, and then it becomes planed at the bottom and spread out through the magic of fabrication. And what I would like you to do is everyone who's rowing, please make me. Let's do athletic checks.
Oh no.
And then based on their athletics checks, or you could also do a Constitution saving throw if you'd prefer.
A Constitution saving throw.
It is. I was going with athletic checks, but this is a strenuous activity.
So,
So
quick
I'll be right back,
question.
but I can still hear you.
okay, yeah. What's up?
Can I enhance ability on our rudder person? It lasts an hour.
Sure.
Although I would be guessing on what kind of stat it would involve for them to. I'm guessing wisdom? But
I think that's a pretty safe guess. Yeah.
Athletics
based on
check?
based on how well you roll your checks, will determine whether or not Clyde gets advantage.
yeah,
on this
we're like having the conversation of like who should steer the boat, who has the credentials, and everyone's just like looking at each other, and I'm like, you have the credentials, and I touch Clyde and enhance their ability.
Great.
Very well.
And you get 9 temp HP.
Oh, cool.
Oof.
Actually, I think that might be mistaken. Let me double check. You do not get the temp HP.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's for the other one, not the wisdom one, right?
That's for Bear's endurance. I'm giving him Owl's wisdom.
Okay. So just waiting on Raheem. If you rolled a save, you get to add 4 from. It's 4, right?
Yeah, if it's the save.
Yeah. If you rolled the save, you get to add 4 to it.
All right, I'm refreshing my thing. It froze.
Okay. No worries.
In a second.
We did spend like an hour and a half just bullshitting at each other, so it's okay.
Woo!
Okay. Yeah. Clyde, even with a Quincy's 6.
I'm sorry.
Even with a Quincy's 6. Sharp Eye rolls a 27, Raheem rolls a 28, and Shalep rolls a 14. So there's enough successes in there to make up for the 6. So you can roll survival with advantage to see how well you all traverse this waterway.
$25.
Yeah, fantastic. You all make exceptional headway using the waterway, and you end up, and I'm just going to move you because you end up here. After it comes down to, you would guess, just past lunchtime. Though with the sky just a hazy orange glow, almost like a rotten piece of citrus fruit. It's hard to gauge the exact time of day. You make it to there, so you've already doubled your distance in a very short amount of time. And I need someone to roll me a D100.
Dibs.
Okay.
Ooh, 14.
Ooh.
14.
Okay,
That's got to be good.
cool. Now roll me a D8.
Oh no. Two.
Okay. As you are paddling down these shallow waterways, and it's not so much a river, you're not on the river Styx. This is just deeper depressions in the swamp that allows for more of the water to seep in so that you can maneuver through the heavy detritus of lily pads and roots and algae and stuff. As you're doing this, you hear sobbing coming from the shore. Just the most heart-rending sobs. It's a male voice, deep and rough, and it sounds like he's been at this lamentation for a while.
Do we see the person?
Make me a perception check.
Oh God.
Clyde's ear will flicker on hearing
Yeah,
the
everybody can hear it, so
flicker and turn to the direction of the crying to see if he also sees the person.
I don't hear shit. Let's move on.
I don't hear shit.
yeah, it's because you don't have ears.
Question Q, is this also with advantage, or does that only apply to...
This would also be with anything wisdom based, skill wise, will be at advantage.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, you both see him. He's not trying to hide. He's sobbing like his heart is breaking. And you see him just a little ways off from the shore on a broken bit of stump. Legs drawn up, arms wrapped around his knees. He's wearing rusted chainmail. And his head is pressed to his knees. Long dark hair falling in matted clumps, streaked with gray. And it's a human man.
Human.
Broad-shouldered. Yeah, human. Broad-shouldered, gray-haired, somewhere in his 50s probably. And he's just sobbing like his heart is broken.
How far away is he?
Maybe 6 feet from the shore. So probably a total of 10 feet from where the raft is.
Oh
This is
wow,
not a
that's
particularly...
awkwardly close.
Yeah, maybe more like, I guess more like 15 feet probably. This is not a very wide body of water. So I would say the path of the water that you're on is about 15 feet wide, and then he's 6 feet from the shore. So half of that. So probably, 15 feet or so.
Does he seem to pay us any mind?
Let's see if he notices you. He does notice you. You just see this shaggy head raise slightly, and you don't see his face because of the shadow of his hair. You just get the impression of a strong brow line and sort of those scraggly thick eyebrows that some men get when they get to a certain age. And he clearly notices you, but he doesn't make any moves. Just raises his head to look at you and doesn't. His crying quiets a little bit, but now that you're aware that he's there, you can hear sort of the catch in his throat. Like he's trying to control the emotion now that he knows that there's an audience.
Right. Let us continue.
Are we not gonna ask for give some assistance? Or...
This, I mean,
That's a
Yeah.
trap.
yeah, the old me would have been like, yeah, let's go check it out. But we're also on now. So, let's just keep going. Country, right?
It's very kind of you to be service oriented, Clyde.
You are doing us a great service by continuing to steer the boat.
Okay. Okay, fantastic.
How you steering the boat if we're not gonna assist or anything? If we were not gonna help this man, then I'll be obliged to not help.
Can I make a perception check to see if anyone is around in the air? Don't use divine sense.
Sure.
Ooh, divine sense.
Ooh.
Spicy inside.
Yeah, spicy inside. Yeah, so you use divine sense. Does your divine sense do Fey, Fiend, Undead?
Yes. Celestial.
The
Actually, hold
celestial.
on. It does Celestial Fiend Undead, so it doesn't.
Not
do
Fae.
So,
Okay.
so Raheem has specialized.
Special.
Yes, he has special eyes. He's looking with his special eyes.
Look what he's special.
You get faint shimmers of celestial from Equensu, but the distance on that is a mile. Is that right?
60 feet.
60 feet. Okay, not a mile. I'm thinking of something else.
Shit.
Oh, I'm thinking. No, I'm thinking of something else. Okay. Yeah, you get a faint hint of celestial from Equensu because of his background. Sharp eye tastes a little funny, but nothing you could really put your finger on.
Just like
You get, yeah, you're just like, it's not infernal, but it's not infernal, if you know what I mean. Yeah. It's infernal adjacent. You do get flickers of an infernal nature from beneath the water that you're currently on. But they're small. It is also very confused by the fact that you have 4 infernal creatures living inside your body.
Also fair.
Yeah. And the infernal creatures that you feel living in the water are about the same size as your tenants. So like small fish sized, maybe eels or something like that. You don't feel anything larger than wildlife around you.
Okay.
Yeah. And to your divine senses, this is just a dude.
Okay. All right.
Um,
All right. Brett said it's just a dude, but it could be a trap. So I'll just leave it like that.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't attempt to flag you down. He doesn't attempt to do anything. He just watches you warily as you pass. His chainmail is long rusted. He has a shield propped next to him. The shield itself, the leather straps that would hold it to his arms have rotted. And a thick coating of moss has grown up the side of the shield.
Oh, he's been there for a while.
He's got a pike in the ground next to him, and the same thing. The wooden haft of the pike has vines growing up it, though you're close enough to tell that the tip on the pike is still very shiny, and it looks well honed compared to all of the rest of the things that he's wearing. But it doesn't appear that he's moved in a long time.
Just been sitting there crying this entire time.
Yeah.
Oh, good luck with your sadness.
Perhaps you should be a therapist.
Go
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Just go do something. Stop crying.
Like,
Stop crying. Go find an exit.
yeah, exactly. I'm sorry we have no SSRIs to offer you. You're gonna have to deal with that on your own. Okay. So then let's roll another round of let's roll another round of checks for our rowers.
Shit.
And you could also roll a constitution saving throw instead of athletics.
Sorry, that would be too easy.
Okay, great. I love it.
Yeah.
Julian likes fun, as we've already established.
Wow.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So, you actually gain momentum. Clyde, roll survival to see how well you keep them centered. Because they are they're like
Dirty 20.
manly emotions make me uncomfortable. Let's go faster.
Yeah. It's even worse. Like, yeah, we see this guy, tell him to go, like, get his emotions in order, and then just immediately start running.
Yeah, you're like,
to get away from him.
Normal. Pauses, see him crying.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like when you roll up to an intersection at a red light and like the person panhandling is just like sitting right next to you, looking at you, and you're just trying not to look at them, and then as soon as it turns green, you just gut it.
Yeah, or like, yeah, yep, that's basically it. And they're not even actively doing it; they're just sitting there sadly with their little sign,
With the
like
sign.
leaned against, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, with their rock, yeah. So, great. You all make it to here. Somebody roll me another D100, please.
Hey, Quinsu.
Oh, continue.
Quincy.
49.
Nothing happens.
Hell yeah. Just another day in the swamp.
Yeah, just another day in the swamp. It is by this point getting towards dusk. So you have the choice on whether you'd like to push through into nighttime or if you would like to find what is close enough to solid ground to make camp for the evening. You haven't traveled in the ineffable trove in the dark yet, so you do not know what may await you.
Does anyone have the light spell?
We're done.
Okay, you make that decision. I have to pee.
I think the better question is that Hugh can't see in the dark.
I can see in the dark.
I can see in the dark.
Well, so the question is not necessarily what can see in the dark, it is what can see us.
I could
Because-
see in the dark.
During the
You
day.
can't see.
I said used to.
Oh.
I could see in the dark. Past tense.
But no, Quincy was making a good point.
I just know that the worst of the predators always come out and stalk at night.
That is
I mean-
fair.
Didn't we just murdered like one of the 4 people in charge of this place? I have a feeling the predators would that, wouldn't they?
Or we have created a vacuum of power, and now they are all rising up to try to fill it.
Yeah, just because the top person got killed doesn't mean there wasn't another top person or someone who has the potential to be the
Long
top person
lie.
right around the corner.
Look, I'm saying is we took their place.
Did we?
I feel like that's how the hierarchy works, right? You kill the devil, you take the devil's place.
Then why are we here? We should still be dismissed.
So I can make a lot of light for a long period of time. But the problem is that if I do that we will be a giant beacon of light, like moths to a flame for anything that is curious why there's a giant globe of light.
Well, I don't necessarily think we're in a rush, but how many of us properly need 8 hours of sleep?
Everybody
would
except you and the bug man.
much prefer it.
I mean, let's see. I mean, if most of us can all see at night, then we don't need the light spell to see. So I mean, that but yeah.
However, we're at a disadvantage in combat on the water.
That is true.
Even if we can see, if there are water creatures that attack at night, battling them will be difficult.
I mean, we're so close, though. Look at this.
Wait, but do we then want to get there when it's not daylight? Also, I would like to spend just a little bit of time planning for what exactly we will do when we reach the giant eyeball angel thing.
It is fair.
I concur. I may also customize my spells to better suit the situation tomorrow for facing the Grinkin Eye, as I had to prepare my spells today for travel.
That's fair. All right. All in favor of voting for camp? Say aye.
Aye.
I,
Alright.
It's Raheem. You hear because you're the only one. Nobody else can speak with animals, right? Okay. You hear Empress at this point say, I don't know that we should stop here unless you all are hungry for a fight. There's an ambush ahead.
There is? How?
She chins forward. She rolled a natural 20 on her perception check to see what was in the dark.
Okay. Oh, I trust you. We should not. Empress just informed me that there's an ambush waiting for us up there.
Interesting.
There is?
She does that thing that cats do where they like open their mouth and like taste the air. Gibbering mouthers and black pudding, I think.
Oh,
So
dear.
if we proceed now, we will not have to fight them?
She indicates that they are waiting off the shore, not in the water.
Oh, so if we go to shore...
If you disembarked here.
Hey, we okay?
Yeah.
So we can maybe try to push it a little bit downstream, a little bit more, just to get away from them. Maybe?
Yeah, it's not dark yet. It is dusk right now. It's the end of the day. So you could push a little bit further downstream
Then we-
and choose to
okay.
and then choose to disembark there if you'd like to try to avoid the ambush.
Okay.
As this is being discussed, I'm gonna cast Arcane Eye,
Ooh.
and I'm gonna send my invisible scouting eye in the direction of this ambush and see if I can get a look at what is there.
It's over here. And it is on what appears to be the most likely place that one might disembark from the water. It's a fairly clear bit of land. It appears to be solid. There's not any geysers shooting up. There's a small amount of cover in like crumbling walls and some vegetation. And as you send your arcane eye out that way, Empress's senses are correct. You see about half a dozen gibbering mouthers, and they're speaking with one another. You double check what they. You double check. Yeah, the speaking as much as gibbering mouthers speak, but they're babbling at one another, and you're not sure if this is a conversation or they're just making noise, but they seem to have planned something. They're sort of arranged in this semicircle in such a way that they're hidden from the most obvious path into this clearing. And then if you go past the clearing a little bit into the next little bit of deeper muck past the clearing, you see about a dozen black puddings, all sort of arranged and waiting for anyone who might be, or anything. I don't know, you don't know that they are particularly picky about what they pull apart. Might venture into this clearing.
Okay. For the rest of the trip, I'll have the eye scout ahead.
Okay.
And I'll look for a nice place to park for the Grinkin eye.
Great. Yeah, you push ahead a little bit, and it gets to be, dark. But between Empress's perception check and the arcane eye, you're able to pull over and find a pretty good clearing about here. Would you like to approach this clearing in with a modicum of stealth, since you are not so far from your destination.
Yeah, it'd be best if nothing knew we were here.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fair.
Let's do a round of group stealth checks.
Oh no!
I have disadvantage.
I'll say that they're straight rolls because you're not moving. So if you have disadvantage on it, it's because you have on heavy armor,
Oh, come
right?
Oh, no.
So,
I got a 9. Either way.
Could be worse. She could get a 7.
buddy,
Yeah,
Ow.
we're all
Buddy.
pretty bad.
well, you're not. Oh, let's roll for Empress, 'cause that's fun.
Hmm.
Yeah, Empress rolled a 26.
Jesus.
Wow.
She has a plus 12 to stealth. She's a cat.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, no. Raheem definitely got the best pet.
That's fine steed ever.
Yeah. If you didn't know she was there, Raheem, because you have this sort of bond with one another, you would have thought she had disappeared. She's always sort of this inky black color with the roll of hellfire beneath her skin. But as she settles down into her haunches, almost in a parody of like a cat loaf, like paws tucked in, puts her head down, she seems to extinguish this internal light that plays beneath her fur, and she just becomes a void of darkness next to you.
That's terrifying.
Oh yeah,
Of course, the robot is inhumanly still.
yes. You just like win the best. It's the best. You would be the best at freeze tag. Like it does. You do realize that like one of your hinges is a little bit squeaky. You're like, oh, ooh, I got some vegetation stuck in there. Empress thinks that you all are absolutely inept, but you feel fine about it.
That's fair.
Nice.
Yeah, but she's a cat, so she always thinks that you're inept.
Mhm.
Not wrong.
As you drag the raft onto shore, this area there are some places that are soft underfoot. There's tall razor grass and clumps, but there's no immediately obvious like geysers or sinkholes in this area. And you do find the crumbling foundation of a ruin, a pretty large one, actually. And it's built in a circle, actually. It's not a square foundation. It's a rather large circle, and you find the remains of a fire pit in the center. What may have been a fireplace at some point in the center of this round building that has now fallen to ruin. Beyond this round ruin, you see the ice, not icy, but the still almost mirror-like sheen of a pool of water. Clear and almost silver, even in the dark.
Okay. I didn't think any water here was sheen.
It's beautiful.
I swear to God, if a sword comes out of that water, I'm gonna shoot it.
Wait. Why would you even get close enough to the water in the first place?
That's a good point. We should just double check and make sure it's like not trapped or there's not something living in there.
Right. You want to investigate the water? That's not a bad idea.
I'll before we get too close to it, I'll divine sense it. I'll make sure
Okay.
there's nothing living in there.
Reading. Hold on. No, you don't sense anything. Sense the same things you sensed before.
All right.
Small infernal creatures. A Quinsu. I imagine that a Quinsu's like dash of celestial blood smells a little bit like a cinnamon broom.
Well,
Uh,
would you say small infernal creatures? Do I sense small infernal creatures coming from the water we're talking about too?
No, just like not actually.
Oh, okay.
You noticeably do not sense any small infernal creatures coming from this water.
Okay. Well,
They
guys.
appear to be coming from the more quote unquote natural swampy bodies around you.
Can I
Okay, just want to make sure.
have
All right,
a
then I'll tell everyone I don't sense anything of the infernal or undead coming from that water.
Can I make a investigation or religion check, whichever applies, to see what the context or history of the ruins is?
Can I just
You
throw a
can
rock
make
at the water?
You can make a history check.
I just want to see if this is like a particular kind of ruins, but okay.
The ruins itself, uh, if you're thinking about like the material plane equivalent, it looks to be like a very old style of fortification that would have been built in a circle because that allows for the best heat distribution. So were there still walls, you would imagine that there, rather than a chimney, which are rather difficult to build with limited tools and supplies, there would have just been a hole in the roof for the smoke to vent out. But this is just the remains of some sort of round fortification.
Okay.
Yeah. There's nothing magical that you notice about it. It's just the remains of a round fort. I have a lot of history knowledge and I wanted to use it.
Oh.
Me.
Well, with whatever the party's about to do, because party's gonna say or do something. While they're doing that, I go into like sentry stance,
Mhm.
and if I have to recast, I will. But I'll use Arcane Eye to start heading in the direction of the Grinken Eye.
Okay. Okay. So
Using a drone.
yeah, you go into drone operator mode. And as it's getting, it'll take a little while to traverse it because the distances on this map are not completely accurate. If you remember, the distances between objects in hell fluctuates. It's like it depends on how well you roll. While he's sending out his drone, what would the rest of you like to do? Sharp, are you throwing a rock into this perfectly still pool of water?
Yeah, I'm just saying if it's gonna like something that's gonna jaws will pop out and jump out and chomp down onto the rock or something. It's just
Sure. You throw this rock into it, and it actually ends up being like part of a brick from the ruins. And nothing jumps out, but 1,000 fragmentary voices bubble up through the water and hang about the gnarled limbs of trees, along with the creepers and moss. You hear wails and chattering, wild laughter, screaming, and begging echo back and forth, incoherent and piecemeal. Sensations wash across you in waves, overwhelming you with brief moments of grief and joy. The pools and hollows around you begin to glow with nameless colors. You've heard, and when you were interrogating the chain devil zombie, you were told about these dreaming pools, and this appears to be what this is.
dreaming pool.
Hmm.
Neat. Well, at least it's not something dangerous, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
that has yet to be determined.
Yeah, no, this seems kind of dangerous.
And as you say that, you all begin to feel the physical exertion and longness of your day sort of press upon you. You feel sleepy, drowsy. The edges of your consciousness fade a little, like in that space between full consciousness and dreaming. You're all standing, you're still talking. You don't feel like somebody is. You don't feel the external pull of magic. This is not a spell being cast upon you. It seems to be more like an
Oh, sorry.
environmental. The spaghetti is fighting back. Um, this seems to be more like an environmental hazard. Um, and you feel the pull of the emotions in this dreaming pool. You can make a wisdom saving throw, please. Unless you would like to voluntarily enter the dreaming pool. Because you may choose to voluntarily enter the dreaming pool and experience any of these human emotions that have been that have been willed away. This is, if you recall, this is where the emotions that have been bargained away all accumulate in the ineffable trove.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, Sharp Eye, you fail. You're the only one that fails.
We're all like, let's
Um,
not go to sleep, Kat.
Yeah, if you've succeeded, you just sort of shake it off, and you don't feel like you'll have any ill effects from sleeping in this area. You're like, I've got enough of my own emotions. I don't need other people's traumas.
Yeah, I didn't need that guy's trauma from before, so what makes you think I'm going to need this full of trauma?
Exactly. You're like, I avoided having a healthy emotional conversation already once today. Um, Sharp Eye, you bed down like you would normally. Nobody else around you really notices a difference as you're getting ready, as you're preparing for bed. But you're pulled into this waking dream, and we will resolve that in a moment. Schlep. When you feel the pull, even in your sentry mode, as you're concentrating on this arcane eye and scouting what may lay ahead for you in the morning, the pull of these emotions and the dreamer's voices feels very much like sharing the memories from that elder brain. And you withstand the pull of these emotions, but you are left with the impression that were you to voluntarily enter into the dreaming pool, into this waking dream, you may learn more about humanity than you already know. As for the arcane eye, what is the distance on the arcane eye?
It has unlimited distance. It just lasts an hour.
Okay,
And,
great.
It has dark vision up to 30 feet.
Okay, fantastic. So you probably have about like 20 minutes left or so on it when you send it out to scout. And you see a lot of the same. You see swamp. You do see a number of those hot steam geysers, the kind that you saw denude flesh earlier today, or yesterday, I suppose, between you and the Grinkin Eye. And it takes almost the full amount of time for it to get all the way over there. And what you see are these jut of rocks coming out of the swamp, almost like a crown of stone, that appear to circle a crater. The lips of the crater are fairly steep and wide. Have you ever seen those old videos of like the bombing tests where like just the forest is flattened? It looks like that. It is just completely decimated within this crater. If this were governed by earthly physics, this would have been like an extinction level event size of a crater. It's probably a
Oh.
mile across.
Like a meteor
Yeah.
hit.
Yeah. Yes.
And there's no water in it?
There's no water in it.
Is
It is
there...
just soil and stone and dirt and a sickly glow of gold and orange light coming from the center of this crater.
Can I get closer to it?
Sure. The arcane eye moves closer and you're almost braced against what you're going to see. You're like okay, you're preparing yourself for like, I don't even know what an angel looks like. Like, what am I gonna see here? And you see a little gnome before you get to this glowing center. He's got a little camp set up. He hasn't started a fire because, like you all know, starting a fire in this place would probably be, one, very difficult, and two, would draw predators to you. But he's cleared off a pretty large, I mean, comparatively for a gnome, campsite. He's and it appears he's been there for a while. He's rolled the rubble out of the way so it's smooth. He's packed down the earth. He's got it's more of like a lean-to and less of a tent. So he's had enough time to construct a little lean-to. There's a broom leaned against the lean-to that explains sort of the scrabble of brush marks in the dirt where he's trying to keep his campsite tidy. And he's sitting on a small boulder. I mean, he's a gnome, so it's sort of like the size of like a paving stone that he's rolled in for a chair. And he's got a lute in his lap. And he's just sort of picking at the lute. He's long blonde hair, sort of scruffed over one brow, big mutton chop whiskers. He's dirty. He's been in this swamp for a while, but he doesn't appear crazed or slovenly. It's just there's not really a lot of opportunity to bathe out here. But he's done his best to maintain his appearance. He's wearing simple clothing. His tunic was probably once a very bright shade of yellow and has sort of faded to mustard between the sweat and the swampy air around him. His trousers have rips in both knees. His boots were once very expensive, quite well-made boots, but they're worn. The tongue is a little bit flopped over. Some of the laces have been broken, and he's replaced it with bits of vine from the swamp. You notice as he's tapping his heel in time with his very, very off-key picking of this lute, the sole of one of his boots has come loose, and it flaps comically along with the tap of his boot.
Are there any finer details about him that I can really hone in on, like tattoos, markings, regalia, symbols?
Mm-hmm. You can make me a perception check. He doesn't, at first glance, other than the fact that you wouldn't imagine there should be a gnome in the middle of this place. He doesn't appear out of the ordinary. Nope.
It's still Sklepp we're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
It was lagging. Don't mind the second one.
Okay. Yeah, you don't know. He's just like a little gnome. He's probably like slightly less than middle-aged for a gnome. He doesn't have any gray in his blonde hair. Um,
Okay.
he,
Then
how long do you spend looking at him in his campsite?
it was unexpected, and it's a gnome, so I'm probably gonna spend a considerable amount of time doing it. If possible, I would use an extra spell slot to recharge the spell and get another hour.
Okay. You. So by the time you reach him, there's maybe like 5 minutes left on the arcane eye, so you can recast it if you'd like. And as you recast it, he looks up at where the arcane eye pops into being. Almost like he can see it. And he pulls the finger that he was using to pick at the lute strings next to his nose and taps it and winks at you. And dispels the arcane eye.
What the?
Oh.
Dispels the arcane eye. Damn.
Wow.
That's a move.
Huh.
Huh.
There is a gnome camping on the Green Kenai.
That is no normal, no.
And the gnome has magical arcane capabilities.
Was he alone?
Yes.
The...
Also, on our way there, we'll have to be prepared to navigate through geysers.
Good to know.
There did not seem to be much wildlife, though.
That is good. Perhaps we could come up with a plan when daybreak occurs. Although it seems like Shop Eye has clocked out for the night. Though I would exercise that one of us should keep watch, just in case we don't want any unwanted visitors here.
Right, well, if you all definitely want to, then you can sleep out here. I will be staying in my nice accommodations.
Are you able to bring that mention back up?
Yes, I can create a link from here to the Oryx dancing dragon.
Oh.
For as long as I have the spell slots, and we have not been doing a whole lot with them lately.
That would probably be better than sleeping out here.
Right? And in the meantime, while we were waiting for all of those other things, I was also preparing and using a spell. It takes like 10 minutes to cast. But for the sake of being extra careful, I have cast the spell Private Sanctum.
Okay.
So that will just surround us with a little bit of extra protection.
Okay.
Private.
24 hours.
So that will surround the ruin that we are in, and then I will summon the doorway to the Oryx inside of the ruin.
Which properties, or are you using all of them?
When you cast a spell, you can decide.
Yes. You could
I
decide, or you could use all of them.
Yes, I do not want sound to pass through, so that if we're talking inside, nothing can hear us outside. I would like to.
Probably don't want to block the planar travel one if you're going to do Magnificent Mansion.
That's a good point.
You know, that would be kind of funny though if you were like, "Ha! Nothing can get us," and then you're like,
Yes, but I would like to prevent all forms of divination, so perhaps it is actually possible for us to, use telepathy without something listening. I don't know.
"Sure."
I guess as you're bringing up the doorway to Magnificent Mansion, I would try my best to pick up Shop Eye to bring him inside.
He's not having.
No, he's also making bug snoring noises. Sharp Eye, roll me a d12.
Oh no! All right, here we go.
Ooh,
A 3.
okay, cool. So you bed down and immediately fall into sleep. And you have, in the time between when you fall asleep and when Clyde brings you into the magnificent mansion, the most wondrous dream. You dream about riches like you've never seen before. But not the kind of riches that you've found in Space Tex Australia, or the kind of riches you found in hell. Not soul coins, not gold, not platinum. It is a beautiful, peaceful vineyard. You just see green vines and trellises heavy with grapes as far as you can see. Fat, black grapes glistening with dew. You see a large vat, big barrel, and you see a family emptying baskets of grapes into this vat. A happy family of people like you, that look like you, Thrycreen. And they're chattering amongst each other, rubbing their legs together, flicking wings, speaking to each other in a way that you haven't seen or felt in a very long time. And it fills you with such deep and painful longing. These are riches and treasures that you had forgotten could exist. And it makes you want deeply. You feel this sort of hollow covetousness settle in to your body. And I'm going to send you something.
Oh dear.
And then as you enter the magnificent mansion, you wake.
Sklep is the last to go into the mansion.
Okay.
As everybody goes in, he takes out like a little test tube looking thing.
Uh-huh.
And he dips it into the pool. And
Okay.
I'll kind of post what it looks like. He opens up a panel on his arm and sticks a test tube into the slot.
Okay.
And it courses through his circulation system.
Okay. Cool. Roll me a d12. And
It's a 12.
great. And then also, Sharp Eye, make me a charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw.
Yep.
Oh no.
Does Sharp Eye wake like as we enter?
Yeah, as soon as you cross the threshold.
Oh, okay. Sharp Eye, like he wakes up with Clyde holding him bridal style.
Oh fuck! If you're gonna carry me, might as well take me to my room. Let's go.
Oh, so you finally awake. Very well.
Okay. So Schlepp, as this dreaming pool courses through your circulatory system, I have to read it. You are beset with disturbing visions. You see your greatest fears come to pass inside your mind. Raheem torn asunder, lost from you. The people that you've adopted under your care, tortured, tormented, lost, ripped from the grace of your protection. And that's the only thing that you've been made to do. And until very recently, you haven't questioned any of it. And it happens almost like somebody clicking through a slideshow over and over and over again, and you just see Raheem rather than prevailing by whatever means he had to prevail, he falls beneath enemy blades. You see Clyde give in to his basest animal instincts and rip Quincy's throat out in a gush of blood. You see Sharp Eye descend further and further into the scrupulousness that you've seen sort of gathering in him as he betrays the party. And you even feel what it's like to have one of Sharp Eye's bullets shot into the back of your head after you've watched your companions fall one by one. And the last thing you hear is the telekinetic bark of Sharp Eye's laughter before he executes you and walks away. And then you come back to yourself.
Okay.
Roll me a charisma saving throw, please. And I'm going to send you something.
Oh dear.
Okay.
How much time passes in all that?
It's almost instantaneous. Like, the people around you don't even notice.
It's a DMT.
Yeah, exactly.
Lifetime.
Okay.
Not that I've done DMT.
Okay. That reminds me of a very funny story. I've never done DMT either, but I did date somebody who once handed me something and said, "Smell it." And he goes, "What does this remind you of?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And he's like, "That's DMT." And I was like, "Okay, dude. Cool. I guess.
What's that smell like?
This is not a drug I've done before. Thank you."
What the hell's DMT?
A hallucinogen.
Dimethylene triphosphate or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also, this was DMT he made himself.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. And having once tried the mead he made, I don't know if I would trust anything that he made himself. But you know, he didn't die. So there's that. Okay. So, Schlep, after you have this horrible experience, you can choose to enter into the magnificent mansion.
Clyde's just carrying Sharp Eye to his room and take the extra step to open the door, put Sharp Eye into bed, tuck him in, set his hat to the side. Good night.
No, you just get to the door and then open it, and then he just rustles
Good
out of
night,
your
he gets
arms.
off.
And he goes, Thank you. And closes the door.
Sharp Eye, when you get into your bedroll, I assume that it's still the same sort of desert tent campsite kind of thing.
Yeah.
When you pull your bedroll open to get into it this night, rather than finding one dried rose blossom bloom, you find the entirety of the inside of your bedroll covered in rose petals.
Oh.
Blood red and fragrant and fresh.
Sharp Eye's gonna choose to not sleep tonight.
Okay. Okay, you're just making ammo. Got it.
Making ammunition.
Fantastic. Okay, is there anything else we'd like to accomplish?
I think that Quincy will pay a visit to his friend Rahim.
Ooh. Ooh.
So,
Character development.
just a gentle rapping on the door.
Slept. No, I don't need help with the shower again. Just leave it alone.
It is not asleep yet. He has not stepped into the mansion yet.
Ignore what I just said. Okay,
I didn't hear a thing.
good.
So, you are a paladin. How about that?
Just opener.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I flirt with people. So,
Ah, it is strange. How have you been feeling lately?
What do you mean exactly?
Well, have you felt anything strange? Have you felt different in any way? I mean, other than the comings and goings of being in hell for as long as we have. Seems as though if there was something off, you would be able to detect it or something like that.
Can I do an insight check? I guess.
what are you trying to? What are you trying to determine if he's being like genuine, like sincere?
Yeah, a little bit. I guess. Yeah, I guess I'm wondering where this is coming from out of nowhere. Just like, like, is he concerned about something, or I don't know. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So roll your insight check, and then Aquensu, you can decide if you're being truthful. You could just say you're being truthful, or if you're being deceptive about something, you can roll opposed.
Yeah, with a 14, you can tell that Ikwensu is sort of earnest in his inquiry. He seems either interested or curious, but it doesn't seem like he has any tricks up his sleeve.
Okay.
This does not stop your hitchhikers from all like he knows, oh my god, he knows, and then you just hear that low current of celestial underneath it. It's like one octave lower than the rest of it.
Second Wanda. I would say, I think Raheem thinks about it for a second. I mean, I will say, I mean, in terms of do I feel different, I guess, I mean, going through hell, show my, now weird tentacle arms, do a little, I mean, definitely am not the same person as I was when I entered here.
So I suppose there's something about living on the mortal realm that coming down to hell will. Well, there's no choice but to change you in some ways. Some, very obvious ways. He says, gesturing to his tentacles. But then he realizes that he didn't really notice the tentacles and says out loud, I mean by the tentacles, literally.
Yeah. I mean, we're here, well, we're all here for our own personal reasons, but then we also have another task.
True.
We realize, how do I say this? we probably need all the help we can get if we want to at least accomplish that last thing. My priority is getting what I want first.
Absolutely. I think it makes a lot of sense for people who have common goals to work together. I suppose what I'm concerned about as of late is recognizing that there's something about being in here more than just the oddity of the experience that changes people. And then perhaps we have been naive at times because we are all in hell because we have done something wrong, perhaps. Who's to say that we are all good people? In any case, Rahim, I just wanted you to help, perhaps keep an eye on the ones we have traveled with. We have, by all miracles, accomplished quite a bit in terms of our travels through hell so far. And, well, it would be a shame if something were to happen and we were no longer on the same team. That is not a threat. I'm literally saying it would be a shame.
You know the person that you're traveling with. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, no, not a threat. Genuine.
Yeah. Do you think anyone is getting to that point that we might have to, butt heads with?
I know that we have each been briefly put under the influence of enchanting magic, which would lead us to attack our friends more readily than attack our foes. Perhaps hell could have its own sort of influence on us. All I'm saying is that if there's anything bad about any one of us, it will be brought to the surface here.
Probably.
Well, that's just a hypothesis. Perhaps I am wrong. Sorry to have bothered you.
Iquantu, I will say though, we've only been through 3 layers, so who knows? The temptations get stronger, but I will admit I do admire that you've seemed to stay true to yourself through this journey through hell so far.
It's not difficult to stay true to yourself when you think that you are the best. Why would I want to be anything else?
Touche.
At first, Raheem thought it was like his goodness was more of a sense of just him being just a really good person, having humility. Then it's just like, oh, okay, was not expecting that.
It's like half sarcasm, but you can tell,
Yeah.
it comes
It's like
with
to
the
know that there's a little.
pang of conceit. Just like,
Yeah. Okay, maybe not as pure as I thought.
There's a soupçon of truth in there.
Yeah. I mean,
A Sousant.
the day that you can hold one of these, I'll hold a sword coin out. That's when I'll start to get concerned for you.
Please do not touch me with that.
I will not.
All right, I should go before Asclepius shows up.
Knock, knock, knock.
I'm not here.
I fucking teleport out.
I hide.
roll a stealth check.
I was gonna say that. I'm assuming our quarters are next to each other, so I was gonna say I just walks by the gentleman and he goes into his room.
God damn.
I'm looking for you. I don't notice that you teleport there. Yeah, then Quincy teleports out, so I'm like, take me with you, and I try to grab him, but I just trip over. And there's a loud noise.
Oh, yeah, the door just swings open, and Skleps is standing there looking at you. Master, why are you on the floor? Who are you talking to? I heard voices through the door.
Face love, how's it going?
I'm not in the mood for your antics.
Whoa, whoa. Huh. Wait, really? I think
Yes.
that catches me off guard.
Okay.
Wait, really? That,
Hold
you
on.
okay?
Oh. Hmm. I am feeling very strange things.
Slip is always interested in my antics, even though I don't want him to be.
You're like, the shit?
He closes the door behind him and says, Master, are we evil?
Are
If
we
you
the
give
bad
robot
guys?
humanity,
Daddies?
if you give a robot humanity, he's gonna start questioning our alignment. Uh, hmm. Just eyebrows surprised, just interesting question. I'll get up off the floor. Had a interesting question, Slep. Why do you ask?
The party is going through some strange stages of development, and each individual is, in a dynamic way, changing under the influence of the hells. And I mean, you've been going through changes long before hell at this point. I can distinguish between foolish decisions and in saving your skin or doing bad things for a greater good to an extent. But at what point do we become evil?
That is the sound where he makes. You're interesting that I'm having this conversation.
You've broken
Yeah.
your oath to your god. You've killed people. You've done foolish things. And you have made deals for power with not so great sources, but I don't think that makes you evil.
Not yet.
Which one of them bugs said that?
You're not sure.
But it leads me to the question of where you're headed. And I don't believe every person who's evil intentionally walked the path to become evil. It's probably due to folly or circumstance.
Oh boy. Well, I don't know. I don't think of myself as evil. I mean, some might disagree, but I acknowledge I'm not as good as I once was.
Is there an obligation to be good?
I used to believe that. I used to strive for that and try to uphold it as best as I can, but it's a very hard thing, especially when we live in a world so corrupt and just there's evil everywhere. I mean, you think hell is completely evil, it is, but material plane has its own problems as well. Here, it's just a lot more easier to indulge in it. It's the expectation.
I agree with what I believe your stance to be. We should use the others to get what we want and get out of here.
Roll for myself. Not necessarily, Slap. Not necessarily.
You're right. We should care for Iquensu.
Better. Yeah.
Well, frankly, Master, I feel confident in assessing the logical cost-benefit analysis and risk assessment that there is a lycanthrope who may not have self-control and a Cain in our party. And I don't think we're confused that Cain intends to use us. The lycanthrope, I think, is a threat not out of intention. Actually, they're quite handy. They're a servant. But a threat nonetheless.
Interesting.
And frankly, if it comes down to them being a threat to your life, I will eliminate them.
I appreciate that.
But also, we cannot get what you want without their help.
That is also true. I don't plan to just use their help and their strength to get what I want.
Because that would make you evil?
Yes, that would. That would be crossing the line. Now, if they did something that would jeopardize what I'm here to get, so that's a different story, and I'll cross that bridge when we get there. But
Do you like that?
I will.
Is this a moral decision, or are
There's a
these
pause.
emotions clouding your judgment, Master?
Iquensu is a good guy. And mostly a good guy. And someone like him who, even though it's just the third layer, can maintain that sense, that I will admit is admirable and honestly worth preserving. I don't know too much about Clyde, why he's fully down here, and so it's hard for me to say, to give too much of an opinion on Clyde. Besides, he's ableist.
He does bring up the fact that you are blind more than I do, Master, and I do it a lot.
I know, yeah. And see, that's when I knew it was a problem, honestly. Sharp Eye. I will say with Sharp Eye, we'll keep an eye on him and see how he progresses.
Am I the problem? No, it's the rest of the party.
How do you sleep at night being such an asshole? A sharp
I
eye.
don't.
Me 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 me.
I think Raheem will just continue to, you know, I don't really have too much of an issue. I think, though, we have gotten into situations, like our situation with this, where it did cause growth, their life, and, you know, even now on this level. So, my concern is that we might try to off someone who might be too much for us to handle, which would jeopardize my goal, and I would also put everyone else at risk.
That would
That I
be.
can't have.
Isn't that to be prevented by? Well, I suppose if someone stands in the way of. I would hope we would have the judgment not to do that. Anyway, Master. You need your rest. I will prepare for tomorrow.
What brought on this question? So,
he opens the panel up and takes out an empty vial, but just a drop of that silvery liquid spills to the floor, and he throws it in the trash can.
was that from the? I'm assuming that's from. I just hear a drop.
Yeah. Your little,
Oh, shit, you're
friends,
blind.
Your little friends are like, it's the dreaming pool liquid.
Okay. I guess he'll
Yeah.
just be like,
Since you're blind,
guessing you-
I'll put the drop in on your palm.
Oh no!
Roll me a d12, Raheem.
I'm like, why are you giving me one?
Yeah, that's
Cool. And then roll me a charisma saving throw. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna send you something.
I almost been accidentally roofied. Let's see.
almost
Um,
the word roofied.
As this small droplet falls in your palm, you remember that overwhelming sense of love and protectiveness you felt the first time you saw your daughter. And it fills this hollow spot behind your heart. And it's just a brief glimpse. It's just a small drop. But it brings back one of the most tender and important memories of your entire life. And you can feel it take root.
I think there was a moment where he might have like chastised Slep for digging into something that was an unknown, but I think he stops himself and just like puts his hand on your shoulder and just and I understand. He just actually just brings him into a hug instead of saying anything.
He just does the hug. Pat, pat, pat. I don't think you fully understand, but I appreciate the sentiment, Master.
I I might not, but I just like feels his, where the drop hit his hand. Just I don't know. I don't know what fully's going on with you, Slep. You clearly changed a little bit as we've traversed through it, but just be careful from digging into things that we don't fully understand.
Sometimes digging into things you don't fully understand gives you more understanding of the world. Good night, Master.
You give a robot humanity.
Mhm. Then he'll want a soul. Raheem, roll me an insight check on yourself, just for fun.
Insight check on himself.
Yeah, never mind. You're
I
good.
thought I had something, and I was like, nah, never mind.
Yeah, you had a moment of introspection, and you're like, you're thinking about Sharp Eye and the changes that you've seen in him, and you have a moment of introspection, and then you're like,
Yeah, that seems like feelings. I don't want to deal with that.
no. Okay, cool. If there's nothing else, you all can take a long rest.
Ooh.
Woo.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm gonna do one more thing before we end the session.
Oh no, has it more trauma?
Maybe. Maybe. Schlep.
Yes.
Yes. As you are coming to the end of your rest, all right, you power yourself down into sentry mode. And usually when you're powered down to recover yourself, you don't dream. You've never dreamt before. In fact, the only thing that's ever been close to that is the times that you took in those memories from the elder brain from Corteso, and that brief moment when the dreaming pool liquid went throughout your body. But now, before you bring yourself back online, you find yourself caught in some kind of vision. It can only be a dream. It has to be a dream, just a nightmare. You've heard Raheem, you've heard Masters speak about nightmares before. You've heard him have nightmares before. That must be what this is. And it is a terrible nightmare. Because before you sits two forms. Raheem, beaten, bloodied, on his knees, armor split, one eye swollen, bloodied mouth, a gaping wound in the lower part of his chest. He's beaten, and he looks to you with the sort of belief and trust that he's never actually given you in real life. The sort of trust that you know that you were built to actually instill. And he's looking at you like he knows that everything he is depends on you. And then there's a second figure, bound, with her wrists behind her back. A young girl. A young woman. Maybe 12, 13. She has long dark hair. And her face is somehow familiar. And she has tears streaming down her face. And you know that this is the person that Raheem has been seeking. That Raheem has been risking his immortal soul and all of yours as well to find. And you're faced with the choice. Only one of them can leave this pit that you are in. And you have to decide if you will save Raheem or if you'll save his daughter. Do you make a choice? Or do you accept the punishment of no choice?
Sklep will look to Raheem and rather than take his hand and lift him up or heal him, he will take his fingers and rub them gently as he lets go and walks past and picks up the girl.
So you choose, you make a choice,
I do.
and you leave Raheem to die. As you turn, the girl in your arms, the door behind you remains barred. And the only way, you know, the only way that door will open is if you kill Raheem to save his daughter. You cannot leave him to his fate. You have to make the choice. It's her blood or his.
I think he pauses just long enough to where he doesn't even... the opportunity escapes him.
Okay. Well, you're stuck on this choice. And your indecision decides for you. And when you wake, you feel wrong. You feel this liquid that you willingly took into your body almost boil inside the coils, inside the tubing that makes up your circulatory system. And it doesn't just burn like hot water. It feels like the roil of stomach acid inside your veins. It makes you gag a little bit, which is the strangest sensation for someone who's never had an organic body. And for the next 8 hours, you have to make a charisma saving throw or have disadvantage on all of your ability checks. So, make a charisma saving throw.
I will, but I will say, well, that leads to another question. I'll do this charisma saving throw.
Oh no.
Yep, you have disadvantage on all of your ability checks for the next 8 hours.
Here's the question I was going to ask.
Yes.
We got 2,000 gold worth of spell components, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, it doesn't even matter. I'm reading this. It's special. When he wakes up unexpectedly from an unexpected nightmare followed by an unexpected withdrawal?
Yeah, it feels like the effects of some sort of drug almost.
He, in a panicked reaction, will cast Greater Restoration on himself. I'll put it in VTT. I don't know if it does anything, but that's what he would do.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And after nothing changes,
I mean, you're able to cast it on yourself, but nothing changes.
Yeah, he was confident that a Greater Restoration would resolve whatever this is, and when it doesn't, the panic goes from panic to like a manic panic to a still panic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Where he's just like tunnel visioning.
Yeah.
And perhaps for the first morning, usually Sklep is the first to be up in the morning. Because he doesn't really sleep to begin with. He's sentry.
Mm-hmm.
But for the first time, he doesn't... He remains in his room. And he's the last to come out.
Okay. Excellent. And now you all know why I was so excited for you to go into the ineffable trove.
Ineffable character development.
Yee! Yee! Q and I had a talk about Schlep, and I was like, oh, I hope.
Trove.
Oh, I hope. I was like, this fits in with this. This fits in with what I had so well. Please go in there.
Next time we get to see a giant eyeball, I think.
Yeah,
Well-
or a little gnome.
Or no.
Who knows?
No.
Who knows?
Or both. Yeah.
It's not even like a deep
Wow.
gnome, it's just a gnome.
Yeah, it's just a gnome. Just a little gnome dude.
Just chilling.
He's just chilling. He's
Mm.
just chilling. Yeah. Well, I hope that you all enjoyed RP Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. What was the crying thing? The crying man. Was it a trap? Okay.
No, he was just an old, broken down knight who'd made a deal with Mammon to give away his guilt for all of the lives he'd taken. And now he realized after he had bargained away his guilt, he didn't have anything left. Because his guilt was the seat of his conscience.
Mm.
And he is grieving what he has given away.
Mm.
So you just would have heard a sad story.
Yeah, that sounds traumatic. We haven't done
That
that.
sounds dramatic.
We have our
You're
own
not
trauma
wrong.
to deal with.
We don't need more
Yeah,
trauma.
yeah, you all have plenty of trauma.
I'm sitting on the boat hearing him. Yep. Well, that sucks. Good luck with that.
I don't know. If I'm in hell and I hear wailing, I'm just like, God, no, that's a no.
I immediately went, oh god, this is Left 4 Dead.
It's like it's another Tuesday, honestly.
Yeah.
Someone else weeping somewhere else.
Yep. Yep.
Fascinating.
Wow.
Indeed. So that honestly, the way you all rolled could not have worked out better.
Oh god.
Oh, no.
I'm so pleased. I'm
Wow.
so pleased.
I don't
The
even
dice
know.
were with me today.
I don't even know where to put the new thing that I have.
You stick it in your like features and traits.
I put it in my flaws.
Oh yeah, that works.
In my flaws.
Yeah, didn't expect this.
Yeah.
Things are getting.
You had them ready to go to sent this immediately.
Oh yeah. No, there's a chart. Some of these, so there are. I'll give you a little glimpse behind the curtain. There are 3 types of things, right? 3 types of things. Yeah, there are 3 types of things you can get from a dreaming pool. They are emotions, traits, or memories, and they could be positive or negative.
What's the charisma save throw for though?
To see if it's permanent.
Oh God. See,
To see if it's permanent.
Because otherwise it just lasts. Otherwise it lasts a month.
Wow.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah, great.
Awesome.
Emotions, buddy.
Yeah.
Should I share mine now or wait? I feel like I wait.
Wait,
Right.
there's a reason. There's a reason why I just DM'd them to you.
All right.
Gosh,
true.
we're only on the fucking 3rd layer. We're gonna have
Uh-huh.
so much baggage by this like 6th layer.
We're gonna end up like that guy crying on the stump.
Exactly.
It means I'm doing my job right.
Yeah.
Stoop.
it does.
Kid afraid to leave the stoop. Stoop.
True.
Kid afraid to leave the stoop.
Wonderful. Yeah, no, there's a reason why I let y'all level up.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Uh-huh.
Oh dear.
I know. Y'all are gonna see some weird shit happen soon.
Mm.
There are other dreaming pools also.
Oh.
Yay! More dreaming pool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dope.
Very dope. Well, I enjoy playing adult pretend with you and also tea time.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
I look forward to next week's tea.
Yes.
Yeah, pre
Um,
D&DT.
Next week I'll be
Yes.
in Austin for my birthday, so we'll see what stories I have to tell.
Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh. And I know that I've been slacking a little bit about announcing that there's game. Y'all can just assume that unless I'm like, yo, there's been some sort of personal calamity in my life, that I am going to run. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like, y'all, I got hit by like,
A hurricane?
sure, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yes. Which
Direct hit from hurricane.
yeah. You know, as long as I have power, it's fine.
Cool.
I'm a native Floridian. I'm not scared.
Hold on.
Unless it's a direct hit, in which case I'm
because like
I'm
I
going
remember
inland.
a good measure to see how bad a hurricane is to see if the Waffle House closed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And for
Yes.
this hurricane, the Waffle House boarded up.
Yep. Yes. If the Waffle House closes, you should leave. If the Waffle House boards up, if you don't, like, I don't know if y'all saw the news clip. It was a sheriff from the Panhandle, and he was like, if y'all ignore evacuation orders, go ahead and take a big old black magic marker and write your name and your social security number on your arm so we can identify your bodies.
Holy
I saw one
Jeez
headline.
Louise.
Dang.
Yeah.
One headline that was like unsurvivable.
More than 130 people have died.
Oh no.
Yeah. Not just in Florida, I mean across the whole thing, but like a bunch of people died in on the Gulf Coast because of flooding.
Because of flooding.
Yeah, the bulk of people died. I mean, some people died because like trees and debris fell on their homes. But almost in every big storm like that, the bulk of deaths, if there are a lot of deaths, it's because of flooding.
Oh.
Because the winds are dangerous.
Like they'll
But
drown?
it's or
Electric water.
yeah, that's the other thing. Like you're not supposed to wade through flood water. I suppose y'all don't really live in a place that floods an awful lot. You're not supposed to wade through flood water because there can be unseen electrical wires in there, and that's another way people die is they get electrocuted.
You're just
You
walking
can
through water
also-
and then.
Yeah. You can also get sepsis because the way that the sewers work in Florida, if there's flood water, it immediately floods the sewer system. Like all of the sewer system and water systems were out for, they might still be out in Pinellas County, where like Tampa and St. Pete, or Broward County, where Tampa and St. Pete are. They have no water or sewer over there. And so there's like debris, there's poo, electrical wires, there's stuff that you can't see.
Crocodiles.
So like, well, yeah, though, like water snakes are probably like cottonmouths and water moccasins are a lot more aggressive than alligators. So the worry would be snakes, but really the big worry is cutting yourself and then getting sepsis or some sort of brain-eating bacteria.
Ugh. All
Yeah.
very fun ways to go.
Right, yeah. But then in the case of like flash flooding, people just get like swept away and drown.
Yeah, I think flash flooding actually happens here.
Probably, yeah. It tends to happen in places that have more like sandy soil. I don't know if Texas is on limestone or not. Flash flooding doesn't happen a lot in Florida because Florida is on a limestone, and limestone is very porous.
Mm-hmm.
So we get sinkholes because limestone is very porous, but we don't get a ton of flash flooding.
Yeah, our city's like entirely on limestone and sand, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we're inland, so it's like water is not usually a problem.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go because my kitten has discovered that if he yowls at me, it means that he's hungry.
Feed me!
Yeah, I was in the kitchen, like making myself a snack before D&D, and I had an apple and a cucumber. That none of this is like food that Cat wants, and he stands behind me and goes, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I fed you when I got home from work, and he's like, no, I'm hungry now again.
Now
Again.
again.
Okay,
That's so funny.
but he's a baby, and so I can't just say no
Makes sense.
because they're growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him that
Yeah.
protein.
Yeah. Well, I love you guys, and I'll see you next
All
week.
right. Good night.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Have fun in Austin for your birthday.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Happy birthday.
Bye.